Hi everybody. This video is going to try to introduce to you one of the most powerful weather forecasting tools that I've used. It's called the GFS Precipitation Loop. And here we are on my upcoming trips page on my website, and you notice that the little weather buttons here, I've always had spot weather forecast and hourly weather forecast. Now I've added this GFS precipitation loop. So when you click on this, you're going to come up with something that looks like this, and it's going to flash this map with all these colors flashing across it. So I'm going to back up here and show you where that screen comes from. I'm looking at the Pacific Northwest Environmental Forecasts and Observations, which is from the University of Washington Atmospheric Sciences website. The front page looks like this. It's a UW site. The address is atmos.washington.edu. Not really important that you know that. And to get to that Northwest Environmental Forecasts, I click there, and lots of information here. A lot of it is very technical and hard to understand and probably not very useful for most people, but I want to introduce you to this WRF-GFS section of forecasts here. I'm going to click on this where it says current run, and it's going to go to a page that looks like this. Now this is a huge list of all kinds of links for all kinds of weather information. You can play with it and look at some of the different things and try to make sense of it. For me, what I look for most is the things that are in this light green area here, which are the precipitation loops. Now you notice this on the left says 36 kilometer precipitation, and if I just kind of click at random on one of these listings, you notice this is a map that covers a really wide area. The 36 kilometer what that means is the resolution of the map. So with 36 kilometers, it's a big area. It doesn't give me a lot of detail. So I'm going to go down to this next section here, and there's some more precipitation loops. This is the 12 kilometer precipitation, and if I go in and just look at some of that, you'll notice that it's, again, a pretty wide area, the whole state of Washington and parts of the surrounding areas. What I want to get is a little more resolution so that I can look in detail more at our area closer at hand here. So I'm going to scroll down past all the 36 kilometer, past all the 12 kilometer ones, and get down here to the 4 kilometer ones. So right in here, 4 kilometer precipitation. You see that, and you notice there's all these different things: 1 hour precipitation, 3 hour, 24, 48, and so on. That tells you the interval between settings on the loop map that it will show you. So the 1 hour precipitation loops would show you hour by hour what the predicted precipitation map would look like. 3 hour, of course, every 3 hours, 24 hours, and so on. So you look underneath each of these. There's one for Washington, Oregon, Idaho. Western Washington is the one that will be the most helpful to us. And specifically, I'm going to look at the 3 hour precipitation for Western Washington and click on here where it says loop. And you notice this is the same thing that came up before when we clicked from my website on the GFS Precipitation Loops. Now, as it loops around here and flashes by, it's a little hard to analyze. So what you've got to do is go up here to this black box, which is the stop button, and click on that, and that will stop the action. Now, we're right in the middle of a looping of 28 frames. If you see right up here where it says frame 21 of 28. So I'm going to use this button right here, which is step forward, and keep advancing. There's frame 22, 23, and so on up to frame 28. And if I hit it again, it'll go back to frame 1. Now take a close look at the map here. If you know your Washington geography and the location of various roads and things, this will help you a lot. Because you note here the blue lines are the major highways, I-5 running north and south right here, I-90 going east and west right here, Highway 2, and so forth. And you notice also it has county lines shown here. So up here you would be looking at Whatcom County, Skagit County, Snohomish County, and so forth. So it's good to kind of know your geography and know that Everett is right here. This is where the intersection of 5 and 2 are. And of course Seattle down here with Lake Washington and Puget Sound, the Olympic Peninsula over here, San Juan Islands up here. Here you have Ross Lake, Lake Chelan, and so forth. So you're going to need to know where your trip is located in order to use these maps effectively. So what I have done, going back over to my upcoming trips page, you notice after the name of the trip, I've got a link for where is this. So if you hit that link, it's going to go to this Washington Trails Association site, and it's a locator map that shows the location of all the hikes that are cataloged in WTA's database. And you notice here there's a little 2 down by Seattle, and if I zoom in you notice 2 buttons there. So that one there is the Green River Trail, so that's the location of our trip. And if you notice, it's located there near Renton, south end of Lake Washington. So that's our area of interest where our trip is going to be. Now I'll go back over to the GFS Loops map. So again, if we use that location, we're looking at somewhere down in here. Now I'm on frame 1 here, which is valid for 5 p.m. Tuesday, 27th of March. I need to step forward here, and that brings me to 11 p.m. Tuesday. And you can see the colors in here, which correspond to the areas that are expected to have precipitation. And the colors match up with these amounts on this scale on the right-hand side. So it's a logarithmic scale. It's not just a flat linear scale. No need to worry too much about that. But basically matching up, like your light blue colors here are the lightest rain, and then as you get up into blue and orange and yellow, you get heavier rain, and then the red and darker blue is heavier rain still. And this means how much rain is expected in the 3-hour period. These are amounts in 1/100th of an inch. So if you happen to be in this little blue area right here, you can expect between 32/100ths and 64/100ths of an inch of rain in 3 hours. Now that's quite a bit of rain. So hopefully the trip is not there. Well, the trip is down here. So now what we have to do is advance these frames until we get to the ones that correspond to when our trip is. Right now we're looking at 11 p.m. Tuesday evening. Our trip is on Thursday, actually Thursday morning, 8:30 until 12:30 in the afternoon. So I'm going to advance through the frames here. If you look, you'll see we're on Wednesday and now into Thursday. And I'll stop right here at 8 a.m. on Thursday, March 29th. Now if you look here, Everett would be right here. And so our trip leaves at 8:30 in the morning. So I'm expecting we probably will have some light rain when the trip leaves, But since we're going south down here to the area of Green River Trail, doesn't look like there's any rain in that area. Let's advance to the next frame. 11 a.m. still looks pretty good in that area, and 2 p.m. and so forth looks pretty good. So I would say, even though the spot forecast says 40% chance of rain that day, I would say that we're not going to be worried about walking in the rain at Green River Trail. So that's an example of how this works, and if you advance through and kind of know what area you're looking for and understand what these different colors mean, and you use the correct time frame. It's all about timing. So it might say 80% chance of rain on a certain day, but maybe it's all going to be after 5 p.m. or maybe it's all going to be before 8 a.m. So this gives you a much more accurate picture of how much it's going to rain, where it's going to rain, and when it's going to rain. And so should help you a lot to be better prepared for your trips. Play with this website and let me know if you have any questions or any comments about what I've done here. Have fun. Thanks for watching. We'll see you out there on the trails.